What's up, everyone? So today in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact process that I use with my one-on-one clients to analyze what they're currently doing in their health routine, what symptoms they're looking to reverse or heal. And I'm going to give you like a big picture overview of what changes I would have them make. So this is a form. I actually copied the input that they put on their form and copied it into one that I filled out to keep it totally anonymous. But this person is dealing with some energy issues and some perimenopause issues. So things like hot flashes, thinning hair, weight gain, trouble losing weight no matter what they try to do, and moodiness. So we'll walk you through. So when I have somebody fill out an intake form, I'm looking at a couple of big things. Of course, I want to see like, what do they eat now? Like, what's their go-to breakfast, lunch, dinner? What do they like to snack on? That's obviously very important. I also want to see what supplements they're taking. And then I also want to know what's their routine? Like, what's their schedule look like on a regular basis? Because that can play a role. You know, the person who's retired at home is going to have a lot more freedom to maybe create some different plans with foods than someone who travels constantly or has a very hectic lifestyle and doesn't have as much time to do as much food prep. So we need to take all those things into account. So let's go through this list here. So this person, they wake up 6:30. They work from home. Okay. They go to bed around 10 o'clock, work out 3. Okay. So pretty standard. Okay. So that's cool. It doesn't seem like they travel a lot. It doesn't seem like they're going to be eating out at restaurants a lot. So that's not something that we have to take into consideration as much here. So let's jump right into it. So let's see what this person eats for breakfast. So recently cut out coffee. That's amazing. That's always a good call. Now drinking lemon water with turmeric. Cool. Breakfast sometimes skipped. Okay. That's very important. And they eat around 10:30 to 11. So they have a late breakfast for sure. So, okay. Otherwise, avocado toast with scrambled eggs or peanut butter toast with berries, chia, drizzle of honey. Got it. Okay. So let's back up here because we can do breakfast might be where we get most of that might be our biggest lever with food is breakfast. So let's back up here and let's talk about the root cause of these perimenopause-like symptoms, right? Because traditionally, if you go to your doctor, they're just going to blame it on your hormones. Say, hey, that's part of being a woman. You know, do you want some HRT? And that's the end of the conversation. If you go like a more natural route, like a functional medicine doctor, you know, they might take it a step further, put you on like some general, whatever, anti-inflammatory diet that they like. And they'll probably like do a lot of hormonal testing for you. They might do the Dutch test. They might run the salivary cortisol test. They might do some functional blood work. But none of that's necessary. So when we're talking about menopausal issues, everything that this person has going on, hot flashes, weight issues, moodiness, fatigue, hair thinning, all we need to focus on is getting this person's liver in great working order. If we can do that, they're going to be very, very happy with the results. Because hot flashes, those are from a liver that's too congested, that literally has so much work to do. It generates so much heat because of all the work it's trying to do, and it has to disperse that heat. That's a hot flash. It's from your liver being too stressed. Weight gain, also from the liver. When the liver gets congested, one of the things it is no longer able to do as well is metabolize fat. And so guess what? Fat gets packed onto all those places that you don't really want it, as well as around organs and other places that you just can't even see. Moodiness can have a lot to do with liver. It can have a lot to do with blood sugar issues. And blood sugar issues trace back to the liver. The liver stores glycogen, and it's meant to be converted back into glucose when you're going longer periods without eating to keep the blood sugar balanced. But if your liver is too congested, it's going to lose those glycogen stores. So those three our liver. Hair thinning has a lot to do with the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands produce a certain hormone that keeps your hair attached to your head. When your adrenals start to get burned out, they'll start to overproduce or underproduce certain hormones. That's hair. Same with fatigue. There's two types of fatigue. There's adrenal fatigue and there's neurological fatigue. Neurological fatigue is more from like Epstein-Barr virus in stage 4. And that's one where you're not working. Like your life has been impacted to a very significant degree. This seems more like adrenal fatigue, again, with the hormones just fluctuating, ramping up at certain times and ramping down. And that's where people will kind of feel like they need that afternoon nap. They might wake up feeling tired. They might have a burst of energy around bedtime or something that, they shouldn't really have. That's from the adrenals. And the adrenals and the liver, they work very synergistically. So if we do the right things for the liver, we're going to be helping out the adrenals. But the adrenals are also going to need like their own special attention as well. But it works really well together. So let's go back to the food plan. Let's go lunch. They like salad with cucumbers, grilled chicken, or an omelet with stoplight peppers. Okay. Dinner's like animal protein, fiber-filled carb, and a vegetable. Okay, like to snack on beef stick, simply almond flour crackers, hummus, pistachios, apples, bananas. Don't need dessert. Okay, cool. So this person, they eat very healthy. And most of the people I end up helping out, they're coming from a place where they already eat healthier than everyone they know, which can make it even more frustrating because it's like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not healing? I'm already like, I don't go to McDonald's. I don't get McFlurries every week like everyone else in my neighborhood. Like, what's up with that? But there's more that needs to be done because this diet is very hard on the liver. So this person's root cause is just getting beat up 3 times a day. So even though they're probably not eating like any or very little processed junk foods, it's not enough. It's not enough. We have to do more. So let's go back to a couple things that jumped out at me in this breakfast section. So breakfast is sometimes skipped. So we'll put that in that category of intermittent fasting that's become popular in the last decade or so. That's terrible for your liver, terrible for your adrenal glands. You can't starve your way into better health. You need to be taking advantage of every mealtime and actually all throughout the day to give your liver and adrenal glands and immune system healing foods that are going to help it perform at its best. So when you skip a meal, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where your liver is supposed to convert stored glycogen back into glucose. But if your liver is congested, it probably doesn't have great glycogen stores. So then it calls on your adrenal glands to produce adrenaline just to get you through that time period. And that's going to create more pressure on your adrenal glands. And over time, that adds up into adrenal fatigue. Adrenaline in the body like that also creates more work for your liver. So it's this vicious cycle. So we have to start, we might start really small. We might start with like, hey, just have like a piece of fruit. And you want to be eating a lot. So they're waiting like 4 hours from the time they wake up before they have breakfast. That's way, way too long. Your body, your brain, just give it glucose, give it healthy sugar. It will thank you so much if you just do that. It's safe. It's healthy. You do not need to worry about blood sugar spikes from fruit. It is this mega brainwashing operation that's gone on to where everyone's scared of fruit. But if you listen to everyone who says that, they're all living with chronic health issues. So be careful whose advice you take, I guess. So that's number one. We have to start eating breakfast. And breakfast is a great time to get in a lot of fruit because fruit is very cleansing. It's going to help your liver out. It's going to rejuvenate your liver. It's going to help your adrenal glands out. It has all the phytochemicals, vitamins, minerals that your adrenal glands need to restore and come back to life. Okay, and then for actual breakfast, avocado toast with scrambled egg. Okay, I think you guys know probably what I'm going to say about the egg thing here, but even though Epstein-Barr is not jumping off the intake form here with this person, most people carry Epstein-Barr. It would be very rare to find an adult. If it's not Epstein-Barr, it could be another herpetic virus like HHV6 or shingles or CMV or something. Or they could have a chronic low-grade bacterial infection like strep. These things are very, very common. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that this is the one person who does not have any pathogenic activity whatsoever in their body. They've managed to dodge these pathogens that everyone else is exposed to. Fine. Put that aside. Eggs are still very tough on the liver and the adrenal glands. It's a high fat, high protein food, no matter how you slice it. And look, two things can be true at the same time. Eggs can have a lot of nutrients. Yeah, sure. Fantastic. They're also very high fat. And anytime you're eating a high fat food, it requires a lot of work from your liver to produce bile to break down and disperse that fat. That's just the way the body works. So, eggs, we're going to have to find a swap for eggs. And, it can be done. Avocado toast would be better to start. I still would want to see them move towards a morning cleanse where they have no fat, no protein dense foods until at least noon each day. Okay. And that just allows their liver to go through more of its normal cleansing process. Your liver will start its normal cleansing process like in the early morning hours while you're asleep. And the only reason that's going to stop is because you eat some fat dense food, because then it has to switch over into fat breaking down mode. So if you just prolong the amount of time that you're awake and you're not having anything fat, your liver gets to do more cleansing every day. And if you can build that habit out, it's a great, great part of healing the liver, bringing it back to life. So counter to that, you do want to eat lots of fruit again, because you don't want to try to starve your body. That's going to backfire, at least in the long term. And many times that backfires pretty quickly. So avocado toast, we wouldn't want avocado, even though avocado is amazing food, we wouldn't want it in the morning because it's a fat and that's going to have an effect on the liver. Toast, I'm guessing this is regular toast that's has gluten. That would work against us as well because it feeds pathogens. And a big part, why does the liver become congested? What makes a liver congested? So there are multiple things, because a liver itself is just a body part, right? So again, just like we always say about autoimmune diseases and hormones, like you can't just say like, oh, it's your immune system. There's always a reason why the immune system's off. So you can't just say, oh, it's your liver. Why is the liver congested? There's a couple things. The most common of which is that everyone is on a high fat, high protein diet. We eat it 3 times a day, like we see here, and we snack on it in between. That beats up your liver over the years. That's one. Number 2 are toxins. So toxins like chemicals, toxic heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, things like that. Alcohol would be another one that everyone commonly thinks of when it comes to the liver. But I can tell you, a lot of people who have liver-related health issues don't drink. So that is definitely not the only thing that can affect your liver. And then 3 is going to be pathogenic waste. So waste product from bad bacteria, chronic hidden viral infections. When these things are eating on like eggs and gluten, they produce a waste product. Just like you and I, we pee and poop, so do these pathogens. And that has to get filtered through the liver. So those are the three things that we're working on addressing. Okay. So yes, we can control how much fat and protein that we eat on a regular basis, for sure. We can somewhat control the amount of toxins that we're exposed to. And we can also add in other protocols to help remove those toxins. And we can definitely control via food how much activity these pathogens are having, and therefore how much waste they're producing that's clogging up the liver. So that's what we're going for here. So that's what I would recommend doing at breakfast here. Then lunch. Let's go to lunch. Well, actually, we would also push this up. So they wake up at 6:30. I'd want them to be eating some, fruit, maybe a fruit smoothie by like 8:30. It doesn't mean they have to drink a huge one then, but at least start working on it. And then if somebody did have their morning breakfast at 8:30 and then lunch is at noon, here's a trick to really, really support and protect your adrenal glands and your liver is never go more than 2 hours without having some fruits and vegetables. At the very least, have some fruit every 2 hours. And that way you don't get stuck in that cycle where you're running low on blood sugar and you have to convert glycogen and it could potentially stress your adrenal glands. So you could make that breakfast smoothie and sip on it all throughout the morning. That'd be totally fine. Okay, so lunch. Here we go, lunch. So salad, that's great. Love that. Leafy greens with mineral salts. Fantastic. Your body runs on glucose and mineral salts. So there we go. Cucumbers, amazing food. Grilled chicken, not a bad animal protein if you do an animal protein. Omelet, we're going back to that egg situation. So I would definitely move away from the omelet. And in this starting out, if we had to have this salad with cucumbers and grilled chicken for a little bit, that would be okay. Eventually, we might need to push away to where we're only having animal protein at dinner. That is the easiest way to set this up for your liver, is to only have animal protein once a day, only at dinner time. That's the best way to coordinate animal protein with the liver. So eventually, we might want to switch to a lunch that's a big salad. Maybe we're getting some protein from chickpeas. You could do a hummus on there. You could do a brown rice pasta dish. There's a ton of options there. But the salad with grilled chicken, not terrible, but there's room for improvement there for sure. Same thing between lunch and dinner. As the snacking between breakfast and lunch, you want to do not go more than 2 hours without having some fruit and vegetables. So they like to snack on apples, bananas. That's great. I would throw in, at very least some cucumbers in there as well. Maybe some celery sticks or maybe some baby spinach or something. You could even make a smaller smoothie between lunch and dinner if you wanted to. These almond flour crackers and hummus, that's a fine snack. It's not the best option for sure. The beef stick, that's going to be high protein, high fat. That's going to work against us. I'd want to move away from that for sure. And then their dinner looks pretty standard. We could leave this alone in the beginning, certainly, and expect to be okay. So they don't eat dessert, no problem there. That could be a time to add in some more fruit, potentially, maybe even some raw honey as a dessert to help heal the liver a little bit faster. In terms of what to expect symptom-wise, if they were able to execute this, so the couple things that we typically are going to see improve very quickly, usually in that first month, are going to be the energy levels and the moodiness. Those are typically going to come around pretty quick once you start doing the right things, which is awesome because once you get some positive feedback, then it's easy to all right, well, what else can we do? Things like hot flashes, weight gain, hair thinning, those definitely can take longer. Sometimes those turn around really quick, but in general, just from doing this over the years, fatigue and moodiness, those are going to be the first two that typically are going to turn around. So this person can get some pretty quick wins. And then we might have to continue down a path and see like, okay, we made good food changes. What else do we need to do? Do we need to do some deeper liver cleanses from time to time? Do we need to set up our structure of our food a little more to tip the scales more in our favor so that we get to where we want to be even faster? But that would be a great place to start for this person. So let's go down the rest of this list. So they're sensitive to dairy. That's great. We don't have to cut it out. They probably don't eat much dairy now, which is going to work in our favor because dairy, like eggs, it's a very fatty food, but there's sugar in dairy as well, which creates insulin resistance. It's tough on the liver, tough on the adrenal glands, feeds all bad bacteria, hidden viruses in the body. So life's better without dairy. This person does not take any supplements. And starting out, that's totally fine. Like, cool. I probably would talk to them about long-term support in terms of, kind of helping out the liver and the adrenal glands and the immune system a bit. There's probably a couple that if they're open to it, they want to bring back in or start to bring in. The ones that come to mind right off the bat are B12, the right form of B12, a good zinc, some ashwagandha for the adrenal glands. And I'd see if they wanted to start with that, and there's certainly a lot more. There's always so much that can be done with supplements, but not everyone's going to do a lot with supplements, and that's totally understandable. The most important thing is the food, getting the food part right, and then, they can figure out where they want to go from there. They don't own a juicer. So I didn't mention celery juice, which is like, it's just something that all humans who, are concerned about their health should be on. They don't own a juicer. I would still include celery juice in the morning as part of their morning routine. And since they have a blender, I would have them make it in a blender. And I would try to educate them on all the benefits as it relates to their symptoms and their liver, and how important that herbal medicine is first thing in the morning to bringing your liver back to life, supporting the adrenal glands, getting them to where they want to go quicker. But you can make celery juice in a blender. You just have to strain it really well so there's zero pulp. And if I can get that to make sense for them, most people they'll use a blender for like a week or so, and then they'll just get sick of that process of having to strain it. They'll end up buying a juicer, and then everything's cool. So that's good. They have a blender. That's fantastic because a lot of times breakfast ends up being a fruit smoothie. So that makes life easy. So yeah, that's a very big picture overview of what I would do for this person with their symptoms in this situation. If you would like your own personal breakdown, hit me up, go to my website, link in bio, all that stuff. You know where you can find me. This stuff is very, very powerful, but it's very confusing. I get that. That's why I do this, and I help people build out personalized plans for them that make sense and are going to move the needle. But just remember, anyone can heal. It's not exclusive. You just have to, enough of the right things have to come together at the same time for you to get that momentum, and then you're off and running. All right, see ya.